Welcome everyone to episode 1 of the Summer 2020 College Day webinar series. Today's episode on why college, fast trivia, fast facts, and fun college tips is presented by Elyse Hogan, a Detroit Promise college coach. This series is sponsored by the KCP College Day Initiative and the Office of Pre-College Programming at Western Michigan University. This series of webinars connects high school students to the topics, the people, and the resources to help prepare them for their college journey. We come to you virtually every Wednesday from noon to 1 through August 19th.
Ramona, would you go ahead and do the acknowledgement just for me? Thank you.
And today, we'd like to make sure we take a time to do our land acknowledgement. We would like to recognize that Western Michigan University is located on the lands historically occupied by the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations. Please take a moment to acknowledge and honor this ancestral land of the Three Fires Confederacy, the sacred lands of all Indigenous people, and their continued presence. And then coming to you today as your weekly host are me, Dr. Ramona Lewis, and also,
I'm Madison Liebler. Thank you, Dr. Ramona.
And briefly, just so you know who we are, I am the faculty member in the Higher Education and Student Affairs Leadership Program at Western Michigan University. I teach graduate students who work at college campuses all across the country and the globe. And Madison?
I am a graduate student at Western Michigan University. I'm studying higher education and student affairs, and I'm currently a graduate intern helping Dr. Lewis out with this webinar series for you guys today.
And she also works in the career services area and is a real about all of that. So to get you started today and to do a little bit of fun before we get started with our webinar topic, we are going to engage you in a few poll and trivia questions. So Madison, run the poll.
All right. So on your screen for attendees, you guys should see some questions pop up for you. I'm going to read them out loud. Number 1 is, what college in Michigan enrolls the largest number of students? You should see some choices there. Wayne State University, Grand Rapids Community College, Michigan State University, or Alma College. The second question is, the mascot of Western Michigan University is a Wolverine, Ranger, Eagle, or Bronco. And the third one will be, what is your favorite summertime activity? And you have some choices there: being outside, reading, studying, hanging out with friends, sporting, gaming, or other. So let's see. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer for some more votes to come in. All right, just a few more seconds. So if you haven't voted yet, go ahead and do that now. Okay. And here are our results. So as you should see on your screen, what college in Michigan enrolls the largest number of students? And the most votes went to Michigan State University. Dr. Lewis, did they get that right?
They got that right. Michigan State enrolls the most number of students. So good job, audience.
Awesome. It looks like for number 2, everyone got right that the mascot of Western Michigan University is a Bronco.
A+, A+.
Yay. And then the favorite summertime activity, it looks like we have a mixed bag here. So 60% of you said being outside, 20% said reading or studying. Good for you guys. Hanging out with friends has 60% there. And then we have sporting, which is the other option. All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Because there's no wrong answer about how you like to spend your free time. So we're off to a great start getting ready for college today. All right, so before we continue, I want to welcome all the people who are joining us on Facebook Live today, because we are simultaneously broadcasting on Facebook Live for this webinar series. So welcome. And if you just joined us, we just finished our exciting poll, which will have new poll and trivia questions each week. So before we get started, I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker today is Miss Elyse Hogan, who is a Detroit Promise academic coach. And she is going to tell us more today about her topic about why college. Take it away, Elyse.
All right, I will, oh, actually, Madison, it looks like my sharing is not working right now. Okay. There we go. So I will start from here. All right, so like Dr. Lewis said, my name is Elyse Hogan. I am a Detroit Promise success coach at Henry Ford College. That's what I do currently. I'm also a former Advise Michigan College advisor. So I worked with high school students before this, helping them prepare for college. So that's where a lot of my kind of background on this topic comes from. And I'm also a two-time Western Michigan University alum. So I'm really excited to be here today, and I will get my presentation started. So today, what I'm going to talk about is not only why college, but we're going to cover a couple of the other W's. What is college? Why go to college? And who can go to college? So we won't be going over all the W's, but a few of them today. And so first I want to talk about what is college, because there are often a lot of different ideas, different definitions of what college is. And so I'd like to take a second, if you can, in the chat, maybe just type in kind of what your idea of college is, maybe what it was before you went to college, or even where you learned about what college is. How do you know what it is? From someone in your family, from a movie, from TV? How did you learn about college and what it is? And then I'm going to go off of my definition of college. So we have kind of a understanding, all of us together, what we're talking about when we talk about college. So for me, what college is, the definition has two different parts. The first part being it's any education after high school that also leads to a valuable certificate or degree. So if you're just educating yourself by reading books after high school, that's great, but it's not college if it's not also leading to some kind of certificate or degree. And so this definition includes a lot of different types of colleges, and that's what I'm going to talk about next, basically three of the basic types of colleges. The first type of college that I'm going to talk about is community college, and this is the type of college that I work at right now. The picture that I have on the screen is Kalamazoo Valley Community College, one of the campus locations, and so that's a local community college. Community colleges mostly offer short-term degrees, which are called associate's degree. A lot of times you'll hear people call that a 2-year degree because it usually takes about 2 years to complete it, although it's different for everybody. And they also a lot of times offer certificates, which are even shorter than an associate's degree usually and are very specialized to what someone wants to learn about. Another big part of community colleges, what they do is they provide general education for students who then want to transfer to a university. So a lot of students will go to Kalamazoo Valley Community College for 2 years, get their general education, and transfer on to another university. They are also known for specializing in short-term training in trades. So a lot of times people go to community college if they're interested in a trade, which is something hands-on, might be something in the healthcare field, technology field, something like that. Another lesser known aspect of community colleges is that they do community education. And so that is classes for people in the community who just want to learn something for their own benefit. Doesn't necessarily lead to a degree or certificate. They might just want to learn a new language or learn about a new topic for fun. And so that's something really cool that community colleges do. And then another thing about community college is that residence halls are rare. And so a lot of times when people think about college, they think about a big university where you're living on campus. But a community college is a college too. And some community colleges actually are moving now to have residence halls. So they're still rare, but sometimes you will see them. The next type of college that I want to talk about are trade or technical schools. So these are colleges that specialize in short-term training for very specific jobs. So the picture that I have for an example is the West Michigan College of Barbering and Beauty. And so that's a school where people go when they want to do short-term, very specific training to work as a beautician or a barber. So these kinds of schools, you go for exactly what you want to do as a job, and then you're qualified to do that when you finish. Usually these result in certificates and not an associate's degree like you see at community colleges, but it just depends on the school. And another note is that a lot of different trades that used to, maybe you could only do it at a technical school, are now actually offered at community colleges as well. So if you're the kind of person who's interested in that hands-on, short-term, specific training for a job, trade and technical schools are one option, but community colleges are also a good option. And then for these schools, residence halls, again, are rare. So these are the kind of schools you're interested in. You're going to usually look for something that's close to where you already live, or expect you're going to have to find somewhere to live in that community. And then the last type I'm going to talk about today are four-year universities and colleges. And so these are schools what a lot of times people will think of as the traditional idea of university and college. And I put 4-year in parentheses because it's typical for a bachelor's degree to take 4 years, which is the main degree that students earn here. But it doesn't always take 4 years. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. So these schools specialize in longer term degrees, the bachelor's degree, which usually takes about 4 years, sometimes 5. And of course, all different ranges depending on people's situation. And then a lot of times also master's degrees, which are further specialized degrees after. So I got my bachelor's degree from Western in English and Spanish, and then I returned and got my master's degree in higher education. And then rarely do they offer certificates or trades. But there are a wide range of majors and degrees. So you still can study something such as nursing, where you study exactly what you want to learn, exactly what you want to do as a career, get your degree, and then you're a nurse. Or you can also study things that are a little bit more wide ranging. So I studied English, some people study communications, political science, things that don't necessarily relate directly to your job, but could relate to something that you want to do in the future. And then these schools can be public or private, and that has to do with how they're funded. So if they're getting most of their funding from, or if they're getting their funding from government sources, or if they're getting most of it from like private donations and things like that. And so that makes a difference. One thing you'll also hear pretty often is that private schools are more expensive. And that is true to a degree. So if you see the advertised price of a school like Western Michigan, which is public, and that's what I have in the picture here, compared to Kalamazoo College, which is a private school in Kalamazoo, this price that you see will be more expensive for a private school like Kalamazoo College. But depending on your situation as a student, private schools sometimes can offer a lot of scholarships that make the cost maybe even better or similar depending for each student. So never think that you only can go to public or only can go to private. Most students can choose what works best for them. And then on these types of campuses, residence halls are common. And so this is where you see a lot of students actually living on the same campus that they attend. All right, and now that you know kind of about the different types of college, we're going to talk about why go to college. And the first reason is one I'm sure you've heard of before. I'm sure that this is kind of what a lot of people focus on when we talk about why go to college. So money and employment. So we know that now most jobs require a college degree. I think it's about 70% or 2/3 of jobs in Michigan do require that college degree. So by getting that degree, you're opening yourself up to a lot of different kinds of careers. On average, you will earn more money. So about $22,000 per year is the latest thing I've heard. Sometimes it changes by major and things like that. But on average, having that college degree compared to just a high school diploma will earn you more money every year and for the rest of your life. It also helps with stability. So you're about half as likely to be unemployed with a college degree compared to a high school diploma, and you're more likely to be satisfied with your job. So it's not just about making more money, It's about having a career that you're satisfied with, also making more money, and having a lot of options because of that degree. And then another really good reason to go to college, and this is my favorite reason, is for the college experience. So of course, we want you to get a job, we want you to make money so you can take care of yourself and your family, but there's also a ton of other benefits of attending college, including meeting lifelong friends that share your interests, building your professional network, discovering new interests, passions, hobbies, learning and improving skills, potentially living in a new city or state. I moved from the east side of Michigan to the west side of Michigan to go to college. Studying abroad or joining clubs or sports teams. So these are different activities and opportunities that you might have even if you don't go to college, but by going to college, you have all of these in one place, and you have a lot more access and a lot more help and support to be able to take advantage of those things. And then lastly, this is what I hear people talk about the least, but I think is really important, is that there are also personal and community health benefits to attending college. So people who have a college degree compared to a high school diploma are more likely to exercise often, they're less likely to smoke, they're more likely to have employer-based health insurance, and college graduates are more likely to vote and to volunteer in their communities. So when we think about encouraging everybody who wants to go to college, we think about how many more people can have a healthier life themselves and then contribute to their community in healthy ways. So that's why a lot of people will also call college a public good, because it's something that benefits the whole public, not just the person who goes. All right. And then now that you know about the different types, you know why it's good to go to college, I want to talk a little bit about who college is for, because a lot of times we have different ideas, different misconceptions about who can go to college. So similar to before about when I asked about what is college, if you want to take a second to go in the chat and just put in who do you think college is for, or maybe even who do you know in your life that has gone to college. All right, and then I probably think you guys can guess what I would say, but in my opinion, college is for anyone. So anyone and everyone who wants to go to college, who wants to get some kind of education after high school, is able to do it and should be able to do it. Sometimes though we think of just people maybe who their family members already went to college, maybe people who are higher income, so maybe people who don't have disabilities. We see these as people who maybe it's easier to go to college. And so what a lot of colleges and organizations are doing now is they're trying to offer new support systems and different help for people who maybe thought they couldn't go to college before. So these are just some of the examples, they're not all of them. Some of the examples that there are resources for if you belong to this group and you do want to go to college. So there's first generation students. You're the first one in your family to go to college, which I am, and I finished twice successfully. Students with disabilities, students who are parents while they're in college, students who've experienced foster care, students experiencing homelessness, LGBTQ students, students who are undocumented, and students from low-income backgrounds. So all of these students can still go to college. You can still experience that full college experience and all the benefits. Sometimes you might just need some more resources, and that's what colleges are trying to do now. And so some of these have links, and I know Madison is going to provide some of those links too on the website. So if these areas, if you do qualify or you fall under this group, you can find out more information about that. I just want to highlight one of them that I had here, which is students with experience in foster care. Western Michigan University has a great program called CETA Scholars that's specifically for those students, and other college campuses on Michigan also have similar programs. So there's all kinds of great resources. All right, and then I'll have time for questions.
Yep, and quick reminder for our attendees that you can type those questions into the chat and you can direct them to all of us or just to the panelists if you would like to be a little more anonymous. We do have some questions, so I'll read them off for us. So the first one is, I am eligible for the Kalamazoo Promise. Can I use the Promise at any type of college?
I'm not 100% sure on that. As far as I know, yes. Any of the types of colleges I talked about, community colleges, four-year universities, trade schools, you might have to check on that. It depends. Do either of you know more about that?
I believe the schools that are eligible for the Kalamazoo Promise and maybe similar Promise programs that some of our students might be a part of are usually part of alliances. And so the best thing to do would be to ask your school guidance counselor, specifically if there's a type of college you're interested in, and your guidance counselor would be more than happy to assist you. And also probably someone from the WMU College Day program could give you a little bit more information about your specific Promise program that you're a part of.
Awesome. All right. So another question is, what if I want to go to trade school but decide to go to college later? Can I do that?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And that is definitely something you can do. So everybody's college path is different, and you'll actually find out a lot of people do things differently than you might expect. So some students go to a four-year university first and don't do well or don't like it and come back and go to a community college. Some people, like in this example, might go to a trade school first and realize maybe you learned one trade. The other trade, you want to also learn that, and it's offered at a community college. Then yes, you could do that. And I would really encourage you too, if you are going to do something like that, talk to whatever advisors you have at that school and ask about stackable credentials. So that's something that a lot of different trade programs and community colleges are working on, building stackable credentials where you can get one and then get another one that's related and add on, and continue to add on more until you have all the credentials that you either want or need for your career.
Perfect. The next question is going to be, can I still get hands-on learning from a four-year college?
That's also a great question. And yes, this is something that I get from students a lot who are afraid, even at a community college, are afraid they're not going to get that hands-on experience. So if you are a hands-on learner, you like getting right in the classroom, you're not as excited about the reading and the studying, but you want to get your hands on to something technical, you can do that no matter what kind of college you go to. Some people assume you can only do that at a trade school, but you can do that at any college. You just want to look specifically at the program you're interested in and talk to professors or talk to teachers in that area and ask them what those opportunities are. I know at four-year universities, what a lot of people like to do is try to get involved in research, and that's a way that they can do hands-on learning.
Perfect. All right, and I have one more question. How do I make sure I can transfer from a community college to a university without having to start over?
All right, so advising. It's super important as a college student that you meet with your advisor and reach out to an advisor whenever you have questions. And so when you are starting at a community college, especially if we're talking about Michigan, there's something called the Michigan Transfer Agreement. And college advisors are very well-versed on this. They've done a lot of work with this. And the Michigan Transfer Agreement basically says all these different community colleges and universities made an agreement to accept a block of general education classes that you can take at community college that will then transfer to your four-year university. And so by working with that advisor, you can make sure that you are taking those right classes that fall under that agreement, and they will transfer. And then the Michigan Transfer Network, they also offer an online service where you can look up classes at one college and another college and compare to see if they transfer. So there are really good resources for that out there.
Great. Thank you so much. And that is all the questions that we have in the chat. So
Awesome.
is it then I can, oh, perfect. So there is Elyse's contact information.
Yeah, and email is best during COVID. I'm not by a phone very often, so I can always get back to emails.
Perfect. And this information will also be available on the website as well, which you can access. There'll be links on Facebook to that, and by email when we send out the information about these webinars as well. Perfect. So we have some more trivia questions for you today. And we should see those on the screen now. And I'll read the questions just like last time again. So the first one is, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of the great state of Michigan, graduated from which Michigan college? And those options are Kalamazoo College, Michigan State University, Wayne State University, or Western Michigan University. Question number 2, among the list below, what is not an official type of college? And the options are community college, university, technical college, or smart college. And the third question is, select all the degree types you can receive from a university. And it's a multiple choice question as well. So your options are bachelor's, elevated, doctoral, or associates. And I'll give you guys just another moment or two to answer those polling questions. All right. So here are the results. It looks like most of you guessed correctly. Governor Whitmer did graduate from from Michigan State University. And we have a couple people guessing Wayne State. Good guess, but not quite. All right, and then among the list below, what is not an official type of college? All of you guessed correctly, smart college. And then the third question, select all the degree types you can receive from a university. So the correct answers here are going to be the bachelor's, the doctoral, and then we do have some for the associates as well. So elevated is not one of the degrees that you can get from a university.
But good work, everybody. You know a lot today. If I was handing out prizes over the internet, I would say everyone gets prizes. So good work. Thank you for the poll. And Elyse, thank you so much for that presentation. Informative, short, short and brief. And I learned some great new things about the benefits of college, who can go to college, and the why college. So I appreciate a lot of that today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me here. I love sharing this information. And thank you.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for joining us today for our very first webinar in the series of the 2020 College Day webinar series. All College Day students, the Western Michigan University College Day students who are on the webinar today or who watch it later will receive a free t-shirt from Western. So please be sure that you registered for this webinar ahead of time, or after you attend today, you'll be sent a link to a poll that you can put your name and email address in again, and we'll make sure that we get something to you. So we thank all of you for attending. We want to make sure that you know that we have 4 more webinars coming up. They are on the topics of career, admissions, paying for college, and then we'll close with a panel of previous College Day participants and hear about their very own college experiences. Next week, we'll be on career exploration, and we'll be talking about the link between career and you choosing a major and thinking about what you might want to do in college. So thanks all for being with us today. To all of our Facebook watchers out there, we don't see you, but we know you're there. And we'll see you next time as we continue to explore where are you going to college and how can we help you get there.